Why are you smelling like a candle?
So that's a compliment, right? It's a good candle. Yeah.
I went through your LinkedIn and it still stays Toronto. So
Oh yeah.
fun factor when it comes
It
to
is. Minus the pending payments all the time.
Delhi boy.
Delhi, typical Delhi.
Typical
Yeah.
Delhi. South Delhi.
No, I look like one, but I'm not. During the COVID year, 2020, when Rad Living was born, essentially. So we realized after a point that okay, this entire process is going to take much longer than we imagined. कि लाएंगे wax, पिघालेंगे, शुरू हो जाएगा scent डाल के इस पे क्या? And we launched Truth Bombs. Truth Bombs got picked by Vogue. It got picked by Homegrown. Launched Fly, which is a black container collection, which has these very sassy quotes like "My guardian angels drink." So Rad Living was always an expression. It was an outlet of expression for me personally.
Which one was your favorite out of the whole?
Out of those, I think one was definitely Kaam Kutti because of its scent, Neroli, and the Pahadon Wali chai. You cannot tell anybody. I was like, okay, I'll not tell anybody. Like, you know, it's a friend conversation. किसी को बताना नहीं है. I was like, okay, great. And then she breaks this to me, and I'm like, what?
Hi guys, welcome back to the Dwi Show. You're on episode number 51. मैं कुछ नाम लूँगी और आपको गेस करना है कि ये किस प्रोडक्ट, ब्रांड, पर्सन, सिचुएशन के नाम हैं, ठीक है? सो सन टू माई सनशाइन, पेरी पेरी टू माई फ्राइज, रबड़ी टू माई फलूदा, क्यूटी टू माई पाई. दिस इज नन अदर देन द नेम्स ऑफ अ कैंडल ब्रांड. ये कैंडल के नाम हैं. हम आज रैड लिविंग के को फाउंडर विनीत अरोड़ा को इंटरव्यू करने जा रहे हैं एंड I have loved nothing better for this brand than the wordplay. And today we are going to figure out how they have collaborated with people like Dolly Singh, with movies like Thank You for Coming, brands like Perch and so much more. And उनका wordplay बहुत बड़ा USP होने के अलावा I am sure there is too much to this brand which I am going to uncover with Vineet today. I am on my way to get him. Meanwhile, अगर आप work from home करते हो, क्रिएटर हो, मेकअप होल्डर हो, फ्रेंड्स सीरीज पसंद करते हो, स्टोनर हो, तो आप सबके लिए कैंडल अवेलेबल है रैड लिविंग पे. एंड दिस इज bonkers. Let us go and unravel this mystery. What worked out for Rad Living with Vineet Arora. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the end. Hello, what's up?
How are you?
Very good.
Vineet.
Divisha. I did not
Yes.
Yeah, like a couple of years back they turned this into a one-way.
Yeah. Which is very confusing for somebody who's new here.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, what happened?
How often do you come to Jaipur?
I mean, I've come here, I think, after a couple of years now. Not that frequently.
Oh, nice. How you did one workshop here, na? Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday we did.
How was that?
That was very good.
How
Very
is the
nice.
response coming in for the workshop model?
Pretty nice, actually.
Huh?
Really nice, yeah. Like, surprisingly nice that way.
Why are you smelling like a candle?
So that's a compliment, right?
Yeah,
it's a good candle, yeah.
It's a very good candle.
Yeah.
Are you like putting essential oils only
No,
of your
no.
candle?
I just put, at times I do that. With
Really?
some of them, yeah. Those are like skin-friendly oils. They're essentially also used for perfumes anyway.
Yeah.
So without adding alcohol, they do the same job than what they used to. Like, you just rub them a little bit and it works well.
Okay, what's up? How is the Jaipur's heat?
Jaipur heat is fine. It's very similar to Delhi. I
Delhi.
think. तो आदत है हमें तो इस सब की. इससे अलग नहीं होगा.
Oh, nice.
You coming for the workshop, no?
I was not, but I'll check it out.
हाँ, yeah,
I'll
of
drop
course.
by.
Join in, no? If you have time for next 2-3 hours, like if you're free,
It's a 2-3
it's a 3-hour workshop format.
Oh, bhai.
It's elaborate. You'll enjoy it. You should stay.
Chalo done.
Otherwise, by the end of the drive, I'll convince you.
I'm in my home slippers, yaar.
Arey, that's okay. It's a Sunday.
Yeah, it's a
We are not a
Sunday.
bar where you have to wear, like nice shoes and no shorts.
I was in my work from home model, only
Yeah.
good looking till here.
Yeah, no, we also just get ready when you to go out for workshops
Yeah.
or events. That's all. Otherwise, in office, I'm also pretty much very casually this thing.
Yeah.
Dressed.
So you have a manufacturing as well since you're a D2C?
Yeah, so we started D2C.
Okay.
We also manufacture ourselves. So now we have a manufacturing unit, and we obviously it's all hand poured. So like when I say manufacturing unit, doesn't quintessentially look like a
Machine
factory and
Yeah,
like a lot of this thing and that thing, but it's all hand poured. So it's more like a workshop, extended large format.
Oh,
that way.
lovely,
Yeah.
lovely. So I want to go back in your journey. Like I went through your LinkedIn and it still stays Toronto. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and then I read about the marketing agency bit and the cloud kitchen bit, and I want to explore
What happened there?
What happened there, and how come Seema auntie convinced you into rad living?
Yeah, I mean that goes the other way around, but I'll come to that towards the end then. So essentially, like from a career perspective, I started I was in ISEC during my college times, which is this youth-run organization that does international exchange of students. Okay.
This is DU?
This is DU, yeah, but this is international. Like it's present in 120 countries and all of that. But I was in the Delhi University chapter of it. The local chapter was Delhi University, and there, I mean, I started working essentially from that time only, 17, 18. It was proper work. It wasn't like it was all party and fun also, but it was a lot of work. So we did that, and after that, I knew one thing, that I don't want to kind of do a job as such. Like this, I knew because my dad is a businessman, so I've seen that growing up. So, but I started working with this restaurateur. Like there was a great opportunity that I got called Priyank Sukhija. So he runs a lot of good restaurants, and really like that time he was really upcoming. Now he's very, very established. So I started working there, and in my first role,
particularly in the Delhi market.
Yeah, that was particularly Delhi market. That was Delhi market. And the fun thing was, like, my role was to kind of create a corporate team for a chain that already has about 8-10 restaurants even back then, and they were the nice big ones. So then I started from there, started building a team, getting people into from different roles, hiring and putting them into structure. It wasn't an HR role essentially, but kind of there also. But then where I found my interest was marketing, because like all the storytelling is fun, like the branding, the visual, the aesthetic. That kind of always is something that I levitated towards naturally. And then we started a marketing agency just 1.5 years down.
This was right after college?
Right after college. Yeah, correct. 21, 22. I'm talking about 2014 as a year. And when I started working with Priyank in 2015, 2016, we started Vantage Point, which was my first venture called, not the first, it was college, it was pehle kiye the this and that. But Vantage Point was the company, and we were doing marketing for hospitality in specific. So we used to do branding, social, digital, PR, full shoots, etc. But mostly restaurants, hotels, cafes, that genre. It grew pretty well for like 5 years because Priyank was also growing. With him we were growing, and we obviously were building our own network of other restaurants we were working with, and we got the opportunity to work with a lot of good clients, like good names in Delhi. So like for example, Worldmark Aerocity, their whole property was, the launch of their whole thing was our company's project. We were working with 1-8 Commune, we worked with Zorawar Card at a point. Priyank was obviously one of our primary key clients. We worked with a lot of other interior decor brands also, like Bencher, which was there back then, and then many other restaurant chains here and there. Like we worked with Jubilant Foods also. We got the chance that time to work with them for one of their projects. So that was that. And
there's
then
something about, like, I also run a marketing agency, and we also have like a core towards F&B and hospitality.
Oh wow.
Some fun factor when it comes to
it is. Mine is the pending payments all the time. Let's be real there. No, the hospital, that way it's great. I know it is true.
Yeah, but the fun aspect of it.
Yeah, no, of course. Like I think that industry is just fun in itself. I think every industry has its pros and cons, of course. But hospitality was fun.
You get to experiment so much. Like I can think of an idea and then execute it with one of my clients like the next month.
True. And the fun thing also is with, especially when you're working with restaurants, etc. Like that time I was in my early 20s, right? So the whole charm of going out to new places, going to events, going to parties is very different.
Absolutely.
And when you have PR events, launch parties, this and that, there's a lot of fun in that perspective.
Absolutely.
So we had about a 50-55 people team when COVID hit in 2020. And that time obviously hospitality just shut down, right? So we were at this point where we have this whole team of people, and then everything's just gone. It's poof. So then we kind of rechanneled our industries a little bit. We retained as much as we could during that time, and we kind of recovered by the end of 2020 because we started working with a lot of other lifestyle brands, and delivery kitchens have started coming back up. So that was that. And during this period only, during my Vantage period only, I did this short stint of the delivery kitchen that you read, Chadda Aunty and Sons, based out of Gurgaon. So it was again with my co-founder of Vantage only, that was another thing we were doing at the site. But was during the COVID year, 2020, when Rad Living was born essentially. So it was at home, quintessential
So before
cliche.
this, like your mom was into making candles.
No, my mom has been a homemaker till now.
Homemaker till now.
Proper homemaker. Like
Okay.
she was never into working with someone, for someone, nothing of that sort. Proper homemaker.
Okay.
And at this point, so this is what, like we were locked inside our houses, all of us, right? And
Yeah.
that was a challenging time for most.
Right.
And at that time, on these dining table conversations, so I had one hunch in me that I want to start something of my own.
Right.
Because client brief pe kaam karna is one thing, but working on your own thing,
project.
your own challenge, your own perspective is a different
Yeah.
thing, right? Because then you can do absolutely anything. And I really like doing random stuff. Like I'm not that person who would like put a 10-year, 20-year plan on a paper and then start a business. Like I just like to do stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that time we were having this dining table chat, and I'm like, listen, we have to start something. And I've been researching. I think candles is the only thing that doesn't need a lot of investment. We can start
Yeah.
from home. It's pretty easy and chill,
Right.
and it's fun. So let's see what happens. And then we started ordering some stuff from Amazon here and there to do our trials. But we realized after a point that okay, this entire process is going to take much longer than we imagined. कि लाएंगे wax पिघा लेंगे शुरू हो जाएगा सेंट डाल के इस पे क्या like how you see YouTube and oh, this is easy peasy, nice, we'll do this. But then it took us about 6-7 months there to really reach a point where we were able to find the kind of scents, the candle, the making technique, the wax blends, and the Indian raw material market is really messed up. Okay, and I'm talking 4 years back. That time, scented candles was really nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was just a luxury segment product, right? So we did these trials and we started at home, and then I pulled in my mom because I am very clumsy, so I cannot. They don't let me enter in the kitchen essentially because they know if I'll enter, I will destroy something here for sure.
Okay.
So they would rather have me outside the kitchen. So I was like, well, listen, let me help you with this. We got into the groove. My sister also took a lot of interest. She started working with scents a lot, and then obviously because we three were doing, my dad also kind of just jumped in because he was also at home, and he's like, okay, you know what? Let's figure it out. What are the logistics, etc., accounting, finance, I'll help you guys with.
Okay.
So it just started from there, and they were extremely supportive that way, right? So they really kind of budged in. And when we launched our first 2-3 collections, usually a lot of people that time also, so we learned Shopify ourselves. Like me and my sister, we learned Shopify. We made everything ourselves. We learned photography. We did it ourselves at home.
Right.
Because obviously you don't have budgets in the beginning, and also you don't want to like go out. The idea of this project was to just learn better and after COVID be a new person.
Absolutely.
So that is what's going on there. But then we launched these collections and they went pretty well.
What
so,
was the name back then of your first? Like, I'm really intrigued by the kind of wordplay that you have been doing over your website with your candles, everything.
Yeah.
What was the first collection like?
So we were to launch Truth Bombs as our first collection, but we were very close to Diwali when we were eventually launching because we were planning from much before, and then we launched a first collection which was called Love, Light and Everything Bright. It was a Diwali specific collection.
Okay.
Then we launched Truth Bombs right after November, and from the first day, I remember the day the store went live, which is 24th October 2020, we had our first order. So that, we were like, what? Like, what happened here? Right? And it wasn't a family, friends order, okay? It was like just random order. And this was some stylist in Gurgaon, I'm forgetting her name, she was some food stylist only, who wanted some candles for one of her shoots. And I was like, wow, what a world, like how this works. Then we started on ads, etc. from early days because we had the background of marketing as such.
Right.
And then we launched Truth Bombs. Truth Bombs got picked by Vogue, it got picked by Homegrown, and then suddenly this is obviously February of the next year, 2021, and I'm like, what happened here? Like, we didn't do much. Like, we haven't hired anybody in PR. I haven't even put this collection out to like the media or anything of that sort, right? Like, it's just getting picked up, which means something is going right here, correct? So then we moved on from there towards the new collections. Then we launched Fly, which is a black container collection. I don't know if you've had a look, which has these very sassy quotes like I think my guardian angel's ring and all random stuff. And honestly, all of this is just a personal expression for me. Like, these are also, if I track back phases of my life that I was going through, which I am just literally putting on candles because I'm like, why is there nobody talking about this, So
the fact that your first drop is called Truth Bomb.
Correct. So that was the idea. So Rad Living was always an expression. It was an outlet of expression for me personally.
Right.
And eventually what it became for my mom also, interestingly, was because, having been a homemaker for the longest time, for a person to think, and I have experienced this firsthand with her, for a person to think that they could do something beyond, it takes a lot of confidence. Like, it's easier said for us to our parents, and you can do it, come on, age is no bar in this and the other. But seeing them go through it, it's a very different journey. Like, it takes them a lot to kind of, I remember the first few times she spoke with customers on the phone. It was a whole new experience. And you see small tidbits here and there. The first bulk order, the first bigger order, the first brand order. These things like really make them feel like wow, this is real.
Bigger,
you know, like something real is going on, and it's not just a project at home anymore. So there was that, and we had our drawing room in our house full of boxes. Like I remember during Diwali, we had boxes stacked in all our bedrooms also. Our entire drawing room. Our drawing room was pretty big that time.
I bet your
full with stuff.
Your home also smells like a big bomb of.
Yeah, now not, but earlier it was. So now we have put like rediffuser, we have diffused everything properly. But back in the day, it was like pure scent because we were making it at home, right? And we had these two large dining tables put where all the pouring is happening, and then. And you know, my dad also used to help us in packaging back then. By the time we had not hired even our first staff because COVID was still on. We couldn't have had somebody come into home and work every day. Like the help staff at home was not there, let alone somebody to help us with the business work, right? So we used to do all of this on our own. Wake up at 6 in the morning, pack stuff because 9-10 these ship rocket guys will come take the stuff for dispatches. Like it's hardcore homegrown. And it was a lot of fun.
Is it bootstrap still?
Absolutely, yes. Till now it is.
Amazing.
So that
we had to go back.
Yeah.
And then we.
No. So I covered that. No, the bit there. Where do you want to go back?
Toronto.
Oh, the Toronto bit. The Toronto is very recent actually. So it's not like it's going to come now. So I went to Toronto last year only. I intended. So during these COVID years also, I intended to. I thought that I'll move to Canada, and I applied for my PR and so on and so forth, and that kind of worked out. So last year I went there for a month and a half. Now the idea obviously is to kind of build the brand outside India as well, and enter into exports because we also manufacture, right? So to take the brand global and also do export from manufacturing perspective is what we are looking at. So I'm trying to build my network through the North American market, which is my LinkedIn says that because it is a networking portal also. Got it. And I'll also be visiting there this year.
Forgot changing it after you came from, let's say, a master's or something?
No. I never went to study abroad or anything. I'm completely, I've always been here. Now I do.
Delhi boy?
Delhi, typical Delhi.
Delhi. South Delhi?
No, I look like one, but I'm not.
But yeah, Gurgaon boy.
No, Noida. I stay in Noida now. Earlier we were in Delhi. So
a lot of people from Gurgaon are moving to Gurgaon and this GK area. I'm moving to Delhi. Noida.
I mean, see, Noida and Gurgaon both that way I think are very upcoming in terms of the kind of properties they are doing, the kind of societies that have come up. So that way, from a lifestyle perspective, I think it's really grown better. And the Delhi lanes have crammed up a lot, right? And people have like multiple cars now because every member in the house is a car. So you need that parking space. You need a lane to get to your house in a car, right? Like how do you reach otherwise? So that way I think societies have really solved that whole gambit of also security. Earlier, we used to have these large families. Like I remember when we were moving to Noida, my mom's concern essentially was that eventually you all will be out here and there. I'll probably be at home still, and then I don't want to live in like a 2-floor house and be like alone in that house feeling like a ghost. So we might as well live in a society where I could also step down, meet people, do whatever. So we're like, that makes absolute sense from a security perspective also, and otherwise lifestyle perspective also.
I think that's probably the reason why a lot of people are moving, because I have heard so many instances where people have moved out of their actual bungalow and then
right. No, that's always a good idea because these factors matter eventually, I think.
So the fact that you mention in business, the kind of way you move forward is not having like a 2-year, 5-year plan and doing whatever, experimenting whatever, and I can see that happening with Rad Living, with the kind of collaborations that you have had. I think nobody would be, I would want to say nobody sane would be able to do it. A white collar, this is not a white collar job, collaborating with Dolly Singh or Thank You for Coming or Perch or Hostler. The Hostler edition is so nice, like the amount of thought you've put in with name of the cities and the kind of sense you've used. So what makes you have that knack for that collaboration? This will work out for ad, this will not.
Okay, so I'll put these two together with the 5-year plan situation and the randomness of things, right?
Yeah.
And this is also how I see life. So when we started Rad Living, we did not have a plan in place. It was a very project-based situation. Right. But when obviously we were moving to a unit where we had to start manufacturing and we were taking those fixed costs on board, is when we sit and we made at least a 2-3 year way forward of where we want to head.
Yeah.
Now we have a much more solid plan and direction already, which we can talk about later. But like the idea is when we do these random things, because I'm also a person who is always like very opportunistic that way. I'm always looking out for new stuff. Yeah. And I also tend to get kind of bored with the same collection for a long time. Okay, so all the time I'm looking at doing new random things there. Now for example with Dolly, she had posted a reel actually, which said कि लोग ऐसे candles क्यों बना रहे हैं, मतलब book ऐसा कुछ बनाना चाहिए, मोमोज की चटनी and पैसा, and I'm like bro, same page. Then we obviously commented, but a lot of brands commented. No, like she was obviously not replying to those comments there. But then through our network in Delhi, we reached out to her manager first, and we proposed very like collaboratively and officially so that listen, we really think that there is a potential, because our brand is also exactly what you're saying. We're random, like we don't really think how luxurious it will eventually look, because luxury is relatability, right? Like, and I'm really based on relatability. The kind of stuff even I buy as a person has to be relatable to me. That's why I'm buying it, right? Otherwise it's just generic off the shelf. So now, while that conversation, Dolly somehow had also tried our candles before. Like she must have ordered or she was gifted something on those lines, but she knew the brand. So and this is 2 years back now, so we were not that known even in the Delhi circuit back then. We were still growing in that circuit. So she was happy to collaborate, and we discussed this, and we discussed it. It went into like the discussions about 2 months. It was February of that year when we launched 2022. And from February to December, that collection planning, shoots, etc., was going on, and we went to the T of detailing. Like I remember, and Dolly was extremely collaborative on this. Like she gave us these ideas of copies first, and then we work with her. We would figure down what is that we want to do. Then our graphics team would work with her to kind of bring it to life in terms of how we are all visualizing it, and a lot of sampling, scent trials. Like it was a long process.
Which one was your favorite out of the whole thing?
Out of those, I think one was definitely Kaam Kutti because of its scent neroli, which I really like. And second one from there is this one, the Pahadon Wali Chai, because that also smelled delicious and it was really nice. I used it in my room. It was winters when we launched it, so that was one candle I've used for the longest time in my own room that time. Wow. But yeah, these two particularly from that.
How come like new age people who have startups, people who are working on products that and are looking for influencer marketing collaborations, what is like the first pitch that can work for you? How to first of all figure out who is the right influencer to market your product, like you did with Dolly, and how to in the end target them कि वो manager से Dolly तक बात पहुंचने का that part. I think that must be difficult, and then the conversion bit. Right. So, what would you want to suggest?
So, I'll tell you, firstly, we are not heavy on influencer marketing in general, okay? Like, my idea of marketing comes from the fact that in cases like these, obviously for a brand that has a mass appeal or the product has a massier appeal and value point in terms of money, they should do a bigger marketing campaign. But if you're dealing in niches, right? See, I think one of the biggest things there is the mindset or the approach that you're coming up with, okay? A lot of times while proposing a collaboration, one thing that needs to be kept in mind is that both parties need to derive value out of it. Now, a lot of times where people go wrong, and I've seen this firsthand, is when अपनी value को जब हमें चाहिए होती है ना, तो हमें पता होता है ये चाहिए, ये भी मिल जाए तो अच्छा होगा, ये भी मिल जाए तो और अच्छा होगा. But जब सामने वाले की value की बात आती है ना, जो list होती है deliverables की, most of the times that is trashy for them. It could look like value to you, that oh my god, we are offering so much value. Oh, हम तो ये भी कर रहे हैं, ये भी कर रहे हैं, ये भी कर रहे हैं. But okay, understand this. They don't need any of this in the first place, you know. So you need to really identify that, okay, I want to understand this creator's journey. I want to understand if first whatever I'm saying fits in their story and narrative as people. Because we all have to understand all of this is PR. Everything is a narrative. Even when creators or actors or celebrities or other brands that you're approaching for a collaboration, they're all building a storyline of their own, right? And you want to gel in that story and not come across as a चिपका दिया ऊपर से कुछ, you know, like that is not the idea. So
then that would look fake.
Correct. वो दिखता है audience को. The audience is very mature these days. Like people are not naive anymore where they see a ad and they are like they have a celebrity and they think ये साबुनी celebrity use करता है.
Yeah, but
they know
a
this.
lot of people you know, credit the content creator in this manner, not the brand usually.
That is
so
true.
they're like you know, if the ad doesn't feel like an ad on a content creator's profile, it's the talent of you know, the content creator. But how much thought the brand has put in to ensure that this creator can flawlessly pull this product off on their channel is also, like, I think a struggle.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you the struggle. I mean, with, like, say in case of Dolly, for example, we Touchwood did not face a lot of struggle there because somehow our ethos of comedy and fun were very same. Like, we would want to make we would want to pick up common topics about it. I think where the brand really has to play a role is in structuring the thought of the whole brief that you're sharing with the creator in a way that it gets you the value you need in terms of the angles that you want to pick up or the topics you want to pick up or you want the USPs you want to highlight, but at the same time give enough space and creative freedom to the creator, because that is why you're hiring them in the first place. It's like hiring an employee. I mean, I'm not saying that a creator is an employee, but correct, like if you're hiring somebody in your team, let's say, you don't want to give them a list of directives, right? You want them to play around and build something which is bigger for you also, right? Similarly with creators, so they are established already, like they have shown their prowess by the kind of content they have been doing, which has been liked by people so much. So we need to put our faith there. So the brand's role primarily, like I was saying, right, like it becomes to structure the whole situation, the brief, in a way that sab cover ho jaye. Narratives, brand ethos और creator ethos दोनों से match कर रहे हो, and effectively for the audience there is value. That becomes more important. सिर्फ मेरा ये बोलना कि भाई ये बहुत अच्छी कैंडल है ले लो is not what we are trying to do here. Or you cannot do that with the product anymore in today's time. You need to, so it's a three-party value in that sense, you know, it's not even two people party value, but when you deliver a campaign, it's a three-party value. You have audience's value that they are getting out of it, the value creator is getting out of the collaboration, and the value that eventually you are getting because of this entire ecosystem then as a brand. So that is, I think, how the whole gamut is now these days in that sense.
Interesting. I wanted to understand how the Dolly shoot panned out. Like, what was the concept behind it? It looked very intriguing and you know, on point for some reason.
No, that shoot is a beautiful story in itself. So when we were doing the shoot, I remember it was in December, it was in November end of 2022. We were planning for the shoot for about a month and a half. We had all our teams in place, like the stylists, the photographers, the entire team was there. Now, for me, though we have been doing shoots for brands and been spending a lot of money of brands on shoots, right? But when it comes to your own shoot and the budgets are really high in terms of production and the plan is really big, as a brand or as a young brand owner, like a 2-year young brand owner, you're also like, what? Are we going to spend this much on a shoot, which is one day, and we don't know what might come not out of it? What if the lighting is what if? No, I wouldn't mention the number, but it was a good number. Okay, like it's a good number. And then we're like, okay, wait, this is fine, let's do this. But that day, so I think Dolly that was a great creator. Like she is really she knew what she wants to do and how she wants to put her self out in that thing. The whole idea was to do that mystical, witchy-ish vibe that we wanted to bring along, as if she is the one who is, you know, creating this magical manifestation candles that will change your life for sure. So that was the idea, and the labels were also like that. You know, I'm manifesting, and though the label narrative is very positive, futuristic, future-driven in that sense. So that was a shoot, and it was like that day when I entered, I remember this feeling. Okay, and I want to share this. When I entered that studio in Delhi, in Gitorni, and I saw about 50 people on set, from my team to the stylist team to the photographer's team to Dolly's team, the makeup team, hair team, etc. And I'm looking, I'm like, is this for us? You know, it takes you a moment to realize that all of this is actually for your brand.
Yeah.
You know, like everything that is happening here is only for you, like your brand that way, your baby.
Yeah.
And then it takes it. I remember that morning, it was like very early, 6-7 a.m. when we reached the studio, and I'm thinking, what happened? Like, you know, yesterday I was doing shoots in our drawing rooms and bedrooms and trying to like stuff stuff on a table and make it look pretty.
Yeah.
And today we are here, and that day I was actually not supposed to do much, because obviously, like, you know, everybody had their roles to play.
Yeah.
So I was just to make sure that okay, all the products are being correctly covered, the narratives are going right. Again, the brand custodian bit that I said, right?
Yeah.
That is what you're supposed to do as a brand representative. Let people do what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that was the idea.
So when you collaborate with a big influencer, the conceptualization of the shoot and everything is usually the creators department, or the brand, like they would understand the ethos and the vision of the brand, that's fine, but I'm talking about the concept of the shoot, and did she bring on board the photographers, and how can you break it down? How did that pan out?
Right. See, I wouldn't comment on how generally it happens, because it really depends on the kind of deal that has been struck between the two parties, right? In our case, fundamentally, Touchwood, I think what really went well for us was that we were a very collaborative team, as Dolly's team and our team together, right? Even her managers, even her agency that was managing her, our team, whatever people we hired were the people we knew from our common networks in Delhi, right? Like the photographer was on board, we both knew that photographer from beforehand. The stylist we both knew her beforehand, in terms of like her work and in terms of her way of working and the kind of styling she would bring on the table. So we kind of, that way we were very much on the same page. Obviously it's a very mutual decision. I don't think either the brand or the creator can run a decision from their own end, because then the whole situation gets compromised. And you know, the most important thing while working with creators, etc., in that sense, which I realized that time, is building the right expectation and relations from the very beginning. So if your expectation setting is very clear, you know that okay, the reason I'm asking you for support on this is not to add work in your list, but to actually ensure that you and I are on the same page with the direction we are going in. That makes a difference. So that relationship building and expectation setting becomes key when you're working with creators and their teams. So that, I think, worked in our favor also there.
And to break it down a little bit more, how does the paperwork work, or the MOUs that you sign? If you don't want to say the number, don't say it, but I want to understand the nitty-gritty, the legal nitty-gritty of these things. Like if she is doing XYZ, you are doing XYZ, and then there's a commercials attached to it, or how does that work out on the paper?
Right. See, obviously everything that we discussed was, whether we done calls or whether in emails, everything was being documented, even in our initial discussions, right? And then once we reached to a point where her managers, her team gave us a final list of things that would have to be done on both ends, and how the whole commercial structure there is going to be, then we just had to, but legally it was all bound, right? Like we did sign proper official documents from both ends. We also had our legal team vet the whole contract. Whatever to and fro between the legal team was to be done was done duly. So these things are also very important. Like at times, you know, especially homegrown and younger brands, see, the bigger brands always do legal work because they are more specific.
But as a small brand, you know, you were mentioning you're just 4 people sitting in your room, and then the next day you have to hire a lawyer to understand the paperwork. It's very intimidating for a lot of startups too.
It is. And you know why that document work is very, very important also? We faced it later. So we thankfully, Touchwood, like obviously it was nothing between our contract as such that went here and there, but what went here and there was one of a very big music companies kind of sued us later for having used a certain music on the video. But again, on Instagram, if this music is available as Instagram music, which is available for everybody to use, even a brand has access to the music. So some music is only for creator accounts, some music shows on both accounts, right? But if a brand account is able to see certain music, then which essentially means they can use it, right? Otherwise Instagram would have to block it and show only to creators. Now this certain music was there for both of us. We used it on the video, mutually decided, and then when the reel was a collaboration reel on our page also. But later this music company guys goes berserk saying that, you know, this is not fair and la-di-da, whatever, copyright issues, and then we took it off our feed as Rad Living. Like we had to drop the collaborative reel from our page because their argument was, okay, creator can use, why are you using? I think we are not using, it's a collaboration reel.
Yeah.
So it was just this thing. But see, again, now in this case, if Dolly and our paperwork was not clear, it could have led to confusion between us also.
Yeah.
You know. So what is important is that even a small brand or a homegrown brand must take that effort. It's painful, I know it, but eventually anything goes up and down. What is on paper will always stand first.
Yeah.
So that effort for brands is really important, I think.
Nice, thank you so much for breaking it down. It was actually very fascinating and important for the audience here.
Yeah.
You did an Ambani wedding. Why are we not talking about that? Like,
Oh yes, we did that.
So this was recently in Gujarat.
Yes, Jamnagar last month. Yes.
Oh, wonderful! So that was like a workshop that you did.
Yes, so it was one of our experience formats that we do, which is a live station for guests at events and occasions.
Yeah.
So workshop format is obviously this, which we are going to right now,
Yeah.
wherein it's a 3-hour format where we teach people on how to blend scents, how to make a new aroma, and do candle making as a hobby or for business purposes, whatever.
Yeah.
So we teach that in this 3-hour format. But at functions, like for example, if it's a pre-wedding function or it's a wedding function or it's a birthday or an anniversary party or whatever, and you want to do something engaging for your guests. So that time having a sit-down workshop is not possible. Everybody's drinking and chilling, right? So what we do is we do this format wherein a guest could come, they could blend their scent with the help of a perfumer, choose whatever the scent they want in their candle.
Yeah.
We would have some container options, decorative ones or nicer ones where they can choose from. And then our team would make the candle in the next half an hour, 45 minutes, get it ready, pack it in nice gift packaging and hand it over to the guest as a takeaway from the event itself, right? So for guests, it becomes a very intriguing, engaging activity because perfume making, ether making is one thing, but making a perfume and getting it into a candle which you can use and take it as a memoir from the event to place it on your table, something that really works well.
Yeah.
So that format is what we did at the Ambani wedding. So we were
they reached out to you.
So it was through a wedding planning agency, of course.
Okay.
It wasn't like a direct this thing. It was through a wedding planner agency because we work with a lot of wedding planners, right? Because they have the freedom and the creative spirit of what happens in the functions they propose to the clients, right? So we work with them and it was one of their briefs. Initially, that was a very fun story. Again, I wake up one day, the agency calls me and they're like, listen, there is a wedding, we need a quotation. And I was like, okay, great, where is it? She's like, Gujarat. And I'm like, listen, we are in Delhi. If we go to Gujarat for a wedding, probably our TBL is going to be like the travel, boarding, lodging is going to be more expensive than the whole setup itself. So I don't know what you're talking. No, it's a very big luxury wedding. It's a VIP wedding, but we need to get this done. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll share a quotation. I have no problem.
Time, what were you thinking?
I thought maybe some luxury wedding of VIP person in Gujarat. That's all. So we shared a quotation, and then they come back to us and they were like, okay, this works, but we have to tell you the dates, etc. in 2-3 days once we have kind of shortlisted because we're taking multiple quotations. I was like, okay, great, whatever. So, and our quotation I knew was on the higher side because our travel boarding was a lot, plus the material had to go to Gujarat first. And when we do these stations, about 100-150 kg material goes first because there are glasses, there's a lot of packaging with glasswork, there are scents, 15-20 of them, etc., like big bottles. So there's a lot of material. Now, 3-4 days later, she calls me. She's like, Vineet, you might have to revise the proposal because what you've given us was your top-notch category of live stations, I think. But we want something even grand. I'm like, okay, whose wedding is it? Now we need to talk. Listen, because if it's a celebrity wedding or if it's a VIP wedding, who is it? They're like, okay, you cannot tell anybody. I was like, okay, I'll not tell anybody. Like, it's a friend. I was like, okay, great. And then she breaks this to me and I'm like, what? And I'm like, excuse me, what? And then I was like, okay, great. So we kind of, then I sat with my team. We really worked on the scent palette again for this wedding. We worked on selection of containers because, now we knew that, okay, listen, we want to do something really nice now. Like we need to do something extravagant now here, right? So we curated a whole new palette. We curated a whole new, say, container selection, packaging, etc., gift packaging that had to go along. And then we kind of did the wedding, but it was a great experience. It was really fun. Like being there in that vicinity, which is being talked about globally, is I think it's an experience.
At your mini.
So we were at one of the residences, Vantara Nivas, where the merchant family is staying. The Indian cricket team was staying. A lot of celebrities were staying there. So obviously a couple of them came here and there, but mostly a lot of guests from their family network came. A lot of kids came and who were standing at the stations making their own candles for the longest time. And the parents, who were a few of them we knew, a few of them we didn't know as such publicly, but all of them I think had a great time. And you know, the best thing by the end was, so our wedding agency told us that they had put up multiple stations for all 3 days, and ours was only on the third day evening. It was a 5-hour slot that we had gotten for the station, because every day they would do one elaborate activity and then there were smaller activities happening throughout the day, right? So ours was a third day ka elaborate activity. Now on this day, our agency tells us later that, listen, till now you have had about 60% of the hotel guests, which was about, I think, 200-250 guests were staying in that property that time. We have these many people engage with you, and you will not believe most of the other stations which are not food or alcohol related have had engagement not more than 25-30%, because your setup and it is so fascinating when people are doing, you know, doing this scent work, and then they're doing wax is being poured, and kids are decorating their stuff, and people are getting these handbags and stuff. So that kind of experience, and then, you know, it's being delivered to your room, because obviously no guest has the time to stand there and wait for the time, right? So it is being delivered to their rooms, and all of this happening in the venue kind of got people to engage, even if they would come like 4-5 minutes quickly.
And then there's a word of mouth, right? It's like a small exhibition.
Yeah. So that was really encouraging for us also. And you know, that's what I've been wanting to put this reel. I don't know if you already posted it or still too, from our own dining table to the Ambani table for candles, you know, pouring from a dining table to pouring at the Ambani dining table. So that was a 4-year short, but yes, I just wish and hope that this is a longer way ahead. It keeps happening. Absolutely. Maybe the wedding, if somebody's hearing, 12th July.
Absolutely. I wish and hope Radliving. I am so excited what's coming next. So just give us like a small leaving note telling us what's happening next, and we'll all, I think, wish for the best for Radliving.
So I think what we're doing as a brand now is expanding a little bit on our product category while we do these fun collections. We are now visualizing ourselves to be a leader in the ambient scent category. So we want to make everything around you smell good, right? So this would be with the help of diffuser oils, diffusers, working on very, very interesting scent palettes that kind of, and we've been really working on them for about 8 months with perfumers now, because we don't want to do run-of-the-mill scent palettes that are already existing, right? Like, we want to create these palettes that work very well with the Indian households, the Indian way of our living, and at the same time at a price point which is something that people can really do on a regular basis. You know, they want their washrooms and their rooms and their foyer areas to smell nice, and they start to care about it, which is why we're doing these physical experiences, you know, because we want people to experience the power of scent in their ambience. Perfumes is something we all use now, right? Like, we care about how we smell.
Towards gifting options also, like I've seen.
So we have a lot of gifting options even today on the website. We'll continue to, because, you know, scents are also a great gift all the time. Because obviously, like, perfumes have always been a great gift, and so would ambient scents are at this point, a candle especially. So we want to tap on this opportunity of being an ambient scent category brand, and expand on that. So yes, and maybe export soon.
Lovely. Yes. I think the way you have broken down your journey is no less than any one of your candle, and in sense it almost stays with you.
Oh wow, I'm so glad. That's really sweet of you. Thank you
so much for joining us and taking out the time. You were very busy, like.
Yes, we're on this India tour at this point, but I'm glad we had a chat. It was very interesting. The car conversation is always fun. So I thought, okay, somebody's recording it, that's good, but we'll have a good chat.
But I'm so excited for the workshop. Let's go there, and I'll definitely add some of the clips in the episode. So
let's
so
make
much.
some sense in candles. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye guys.
Bye.
ज्यादा फन एक्टिविटी थी ये. ओ माय गॉड, लाइक इतना थॉट कोई बंदा एक वर्कशॉप में कैसे डाल सकता है. वी डिस्कस सेंस, candles, wax, how to maintain a candle, to making one, everything in this 3-4 hour workshop. Initially मैं रुक भी नहीं सकती थी because I had other commitments, but I cancelled it because I was too much into it and I just had a fabulous Sunday. मुझे लग रहा था मुझे संडे को काम करना पड़ेगा, but meeting Vineet, attending his workshop, everything almost felt like it was at ease. बहुत. He is a fabulous person to be around, and it was just fun, and I'm just too tired now. So bye guys, thank you so much for watching this episode till the end. See you in the next episode.